We got a 2,500 point game here. It's Dread Elves versus the Vampire Covenant. Let's start out by going over the Dread Elf deployment first. We got 7 Dread Knights, no musician or standard or anything. 20 Dancers of Yemaw, they got a musician. 20 more Dancers of Yemaw, they also have a musician. The movement tray is a bit separated, but yep. So 2 squads, both 20 Dancers of Yemaw. Got 29 Dread Elf Legionnaire, they're spearmen. They got heavy armor and shield, musician and standard, 29 of them. 2 Hydras, both have breath weapons. Neither is Alpha Predator. I got a Cult Priest of Yemaw on a Divine Altar Yemaw. It's also my BSB, using the Cauldron of Blood model for it. I got a level 4 Mage, she's taking fire, she's on a Barded Pegasus. And 29 more spearmen, heavy armor, spears, shield, just like that unit, 29 of them, musician standard. All right, we're gonna go over to the Vampire Covenant deployment real quick. All right.
So we got 5 Blood Knights, full command. The champion has the Flaming Lance. I love that. Mounted Wraiths, 5 of them. Bat Swarms, 2 into Zombies, 2021. 49 skeletons, and in there's the Vampire Lord, level 1, and a Wraith. 39, I think it's 39, yeah, 36 Barrow Guard. We got a level 4 Necromancer, Lord of Necromancy, White King BSB, Phantom Host Swarm of 4, and then way over here, minimum unit of Knights, but full command.
Alright, that's Vampire Covenant deployment. Shaping up to look like a pretty good match. Here's one more quick view of the battlefield. Alright, we'll get back to you after turn 1. End of Dread Elf turn 1. Knights moved up, Dancers moved up, Spearmen moved up, Knights moved up, or Hydra moved up, excuse me, one kind of tilted a little bit. We got the Cauldron moved up and the level 4 Mage behind the Spearman block that moved up. So that's what it looks like right now. End of movement, phase 1. Alright, end of level 1, end of turn 1 magic phase. She tried to cast spell number 1, Cascading Fire, on his fast cav. He dispel scrolled it, and then afterwards I casted the big fireball, rolled pretty well, got that off, killed 3 of them also with the signature spell, so 3 of them dead from magic, and that's it. End of Vampire Covenant movement. Bats moved up, zombies moved up. These zombies are defending the wall. These skeletons sidestep to the right a little bit. Did these move at all?
Yeah, they backed up a little.
They backed up a little bit. The what's behind them again?
Barrow Guard.
Barrow Guard backed up as well, and the Knights repositioned as well. That's the end of movement phase. Alright, end of turn 1 for the Vampire Covenant. After movement, he did magic. He ended up growing about 6 or 7 zombies here, and about 9 zombies here. And everything left of that marker right there now causes fear, and you now need to reroll 2 wound in combat against them. And that spell lasts 1 turn. And alright, we'll get back to you after Dark Elf movement phase.
And an archery platform. So think about them, but it was pretty much obsolete by when you got cavalry.
End of Dark Elf movement, turn 2, end of Dark Elf movement phase. Knights moved up, both the Yemaw, Dancers moved up, Spearmen moved up. This Hydra actually failed a charge going at these zombies, the Red Hydra, and these Spearmen made it in. The BSB moved up here. The level 4 Mage moved back here near the field. And that looks like the end of movement for Dark Elves or Dread Elves. We'll get back to you after Magic. Dread Elf Magic phase, tried 3 dice at, cascading fire on a 10, didn't go off. She lost her bonus, and then tried the big fireball. It didn't go off as well, so big dud. Didn't get any points this turn. Useless model. Alright, it's end of Dark Elf turn 2 combat. Killed less than I would have liked. I think the kill count was around 13 zombies. Sorry, 13 zombies dead, I think, from that combat, and including the unbreakable part. So probably should have killed more. On to Vampire Covenant turn 2. Here's a look at the map again, real quick. I'll get back to you after Vampire Covenant turn. Our movement phase. End of turn 2 Vampire Covenant, end of movement phase. It looks like his barrel guard pivoted a little bit. These, what are these called again? Phantoms. Phantom host charge. They failed. They got double one on the charge distance roll. This big unit of, what are these called again? Skeletons. Alright, my bad. So the big units of skeleton charged into this combat from last turn. The knights charged into combat. The skeletons are up against the fence, so that I get distracting against them. And then the zombies charge the side. So there are 4 units into the Hydra and Spear block. That's moved a little bit, and well as his fast cav and his blood knights moved up a little bit. And that's basically the movement that happened on turn 2. We'll get back to you after magic. So end of turn 2 Vampire Covenant, magic phase with casting the first one and didn't get anything off. No shooting, so we're into combat. End at bottom of turn 2 Vampire Covenant turn. We'll get to you after combat. Looking juicy. End of it's bottom of the second turn, end of combat. I think you guys saw the combat right before it ended. Dread Elf player ended up winning by 8 static, wiped out the Dread Knights. They almost killed the Hydra, the only one left. Killed the Vampire Knights, wiped out the zombie squad in the front, killed a few on the side, and killed about 10 skeletons and did about a wound to his lord. And that was the end of combat. It's about to be Dread Elf player turn 3. End of Dread Elf movement phase. So bunch of charges, knights charged in, dancers charged in. They actually tried to charge into the phantom hosts, but they couldn't. There's no room to fit. Spearmen charged the phantom host. Other Hydra went into the skeleton blocks. They turned to face. Cauldron BSB, which is a chariot, gets impact hits charged into the chariot, and the girl moved. So that's pretty much what's happened so far. Here's a look at the map. It's getting a bit smaller. Alright, and we'll get back to you at the end of magic. So a lot happened this magic phase. Just kidding, literally nothing happened. On to combat. Hey, back to the end of Dread Elf turn 3, end of combat. We lost a Witch Elf over here. They ended up killing their BSB and one model. The Barrow Guard lost combat res. Few died extra from the combat res and stable. Spearman charged the Phantom hosts. I asked that 3 times. 2 wounds on both sides. They lost about 3 or 4 more wounds from combat res and stable. They're ethereal, so they have the 2 up ward save. We got the double Hydra combat here at the start of the turn. They killed the one with 4 wounds. This Hydra bit back pretty hard though, and took a big chunk out of the unit, and they lost combat res again here. This Hydra did a number. The zombies just went poof. The BSB chariot overran. The knights are kind of staying where they were. And then that looks like the end of the turn. Bottom of turn 3, Vampire Covenant movement. His fast cav moved up from about right there to there. Blood Knights charged the back, flank my Hydra, failed the charge, just moved up 4 inches. And Flying Rats charged the side of my BSB. And that's the rest of the movement. Here's what the battlefield looks like. Alright, and turn 3 magic phase. He got off a spell on the dancers. Steel Youth. End of each magic phase on a 6-up. AP 6 hit, so 5 died. And next phase it'll be on 5-up. So it gets worse each turn. I'm gonna try to dispel that.
She casted everything within 12 inches, gets to reroll to wound and cause fear. So pretty much everything in this combat bubble is rerolling the wound and causing fear. And I blocked an invocation. That's it. Shooting's done. We'll get to you after bottom of turn 3, Vampire Combat. We're at the end of Vampire Covenant, end of the bottom of 3 after combat. Lost 4 models on this side. That combat was even in wounds. This combat over here, this Hydra did a bit more wounds over here. I think they lost combat res by about 1 or 2 from unstable. Over here, Spearman wiped out all except 1 wound on these Phantom guys since they're ethereal, so they're still stuck there doing that. The stats charged my chariot, my Divine Altar. And I wiped them out with combat res and reformed to look that way. And that's about it. About to be at the top of turn 4. Let's look at the battlefield. Turn 4 and the Dread Elf turn. These dancers just moved up a little bit. They still got the curse on them. My level 4 general just moved right there. Spearman charged into these knights in the side. And my BSB Divine Altar Ammo charged into the side of this zombie block with the general in it. So that's movement. We'll get to you after magic. End of turn 4, close combat. Did a few more wounds over there. 1 combat res by 1. Spearman wiped out that final squad. They're looking to your right. Hydra and BSB killed everything except the Wraith and their general left, which is right there. Blue one is the Wraith, and the other one's the Vampire General. Spearman charged knights on the side, did 4 wounds overall. They actually grew 1 back. And that's all combat. All right, this is what the board looks like. It's shaping up to be the end soon. All right. Bottom of 4, Vampire Magic phase. She got off a reroll to wound in a 12-inch bubble, so that'll affect the knights and all the rest of the combat's still in combat. And other than that, he got off Invocation, and it grew back about 4 models over there in the Barrel Guard. So we're getting to combat at the bottom of the 4 for Vampire. The bottom of turn 4 for the Vampire Covenant. Good battle, but he finally succumbed. Let's see. Let's go over the units. Colwyn Knights, 1 left. Dancers, they moved up, lost 5. He's still got a good unit of Barrel Guard over there, but they that's all about he has left. He's got 2 fast cab over here. Big battle over here is Vampire. General finally succumbed along with the Wraith in there to the Hydra and the Divine Altar BSB in combat. That's his level 4 right there, still alive. Spearman fighting the Blood Knights in the side probably ain't gonna go too well. So that's the end of the game picture right there. We'll be sure to upload some more soon. Check out the channel Subdoobies. And we'll post a bunch of pictures and army lists possibly in chat.